On this episode, we're talking all about Evo, Splatoon, Star Fox, and a bunch more as we're fully into the Switch 2's second year. Welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 342, recorded on June 30th, 2026. My name is Steve, and of course, I'm joined by Barry and Greg. Barry, how you doing, man?
Hey, everybody. It's been an interesting 2 weeks. I'll say that. But happy to be here.
Yeah. Greg, how are you doing?
Yeah, much likewise, I guess. It has been pretty interesting, and new things are going in motion in some other ways that I wouldn't have thought 2 weeks ago, and also plenty of time for gaming this time around too.
All right. Well, maybe we'll leave that as a teaser for the end of the episode. You guys can share more if you want to. But let's talk games really soon. Before we get into any of that though, we do want to just say, hey, welcome. And if you have never subscribed to the podcast, be sure to do that. If you've never followed us on social media, be sure to do that. All those links are going to be in the YouTube description and the podcast show notes as well. You can check out NintendoFuse.com for even more content, all those different things. If you are tuning in live, be sure to join us in the live chat. We're streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. And if you have anything to say about whatever we talk about on this episode, be sure to let us know and throw it in the live chat. We'll refer to you guys throughout the episode. We see Jim's already there in the chat on YouTube. Thanks for joining us, and hope to hear from you throughout the episode as well. Actually, I'm going to keep putting this off because I think it may be important to talk about this other thing right at the very beginning. You think so? Hopefully you guys know where I'm going with this. We have heard and we have put out the call for quite a few months, and we officially have a Patreon now. So let the cheers around the world go crazy. But we officially have our Patreon. We have launched it. It was published even just earlier today, so you can check it out. I believe the link, I should have had it memorized, but I didn't. I think it's like patreon.com/cc, I think it is, and then /NintendoFuse. We'll put it in the show notes and the podcast description.
It's patreon.com/CW/NintendoFuse.
Okay. Thank you. Get that right. Patreon.com/CW/NintendoFuse. So you can check that out. And again, we'll put that in the podcast show notes and the YouTube description. And we'll also put that on our website, NintendoFuse.com. But you guys are the first ones to hear. So if you're tuning in live, you're definitely the first ones to hear. And if you are listening to this after the fact, thank you guys so much. We've had several of you request that we put out a Patreon so that you guys can support. And so now it's out there. We have 3 different tiers right now. We'll see how that goes and everything. So we have we've definitely went into the Super Mario theme, as we are calling our tiers. We call them Gold Coin, Super Mushroom, and Fire Flower are the 3. And if we eventually get some, another one, I'm thinking Superstar is maybe our top tier at some point. But those are the 3 right now. So you guys can find out all the different details on there, what the different tiers will involve. You can start off with a $5 one, which is the gold coin. And that's basically you just kind of saying, hey, I want to support you guys, $5 a month. And you get access to a special Discord channel. And then it just goes up from there, which includes all the way up to like game nights and different ways that we can connect with you guys even more, and special access to different stuff. So check it all out at patreon.com/CW/NintendoFuse. All right. With that out of the way, let's jump into what we've been playing. Barry, how about you kick us off?
All right. Yeah, this past 2 weeks I've had the in-laws in, and thankfully they're very supportive of my gaming, and they like to watch when I game. So they've been helping with the little ones so I could game a little more too, which helps. But on the Switch side, still doing Pokemon Unite, Asphalt Legends, and Pokemon Champions. I did some of the Rhythm Heaven Groove starter demo, but I didn't want to play too much of it because it doesn't carry over, and I already was getting the game. So I went to Gravity Circuit, which is a game I've had for a while, but they just announced the sequel. I love Mega Man games. This is a Mega Man style game, and played through it. Doesn't take long. It's a standard starter level 8 bosses, and then the Wily Castle style levels, and it was a lot of fun. It was more definitely different because you punch instead of just shooting. So it's a more combat, like melee style, but Mega Man, and you got like a grapple hook, and you don't get the boss's powers when you beat them, but you do get like different ship upgrades that you can customize your character. But yeah, really well done. Quick game, just a lot of fun. So I do recommend that before the sequel comes out. Another game that based off a recommendation this time from Zev Zero, friend of the channel. He was excited for the new Onimusha. He asked if I was. I said it looks great, but I never played the series. So he said you had to play the series. So I played Onimusha Warlords on the Switch, which is the first game. And the best way to describe it is Resident Evil, but with samurais, and it's not scary. So it's pre-rendered backgrounds. You're running around. There's no tank controls, or at least it doesn't feel as tank controls. I guess a little bit there is. And using your swords, and you have different swords and different keys to open doors. It's like a 4.5 hour game, 4 hour game. Like, it's really quick. The map system is very archaic. You gotta open the inventory, then go to maps, and click the map, then you can see it, and then you gotta back out of it. You can't like quick button. Let me pull up the map. It's a lot of it is very archaic, by today's standards. But I had a fun time with it, so I'm gonna play the second one,
Now, when you say
which are
like
the only.
Resident Evil, so is it zombies?
There's demons instead of
Oh, okay.
zombies.
Okay.
So there's a lot of
But not
demons,
scary.
with not scary. I didn't find it scary. It never. It's by Kenji Inafune. Did
Mm.
Mega Man, and it was. It very much felt like, hey, Resident Evil worked. How could we use this formula in different ways? And they said, let's do samurais versus demons, and that's what you get.
All right.
It's an interesting system. Also, there's a lot of red orbs. You have to like absorb red orbs to upgrade, which was a thing with them back then. Devil May Cry also had red orbs from things you had to upgrade, and Devil May Cry started as a Resident Evil game. So yeah, it's just Capcom in the PS2 era. But I had a lot of fun with it. I do recommend it. It's a quick playthrough, and it's definitely a product of its time. On the Switch 2 sides, Pokemon Pokopia still. The Jirachi event is out, and I finally got my last human records, so I'm completed there. Kirby Air Riders had an event, so I went and did that. Sonic Racing Crossworlds had the 35th anniversary festival with classic Sonic added, so I did the festival, and now they're doing a tournament, so I participated in the tournament for participation prizes, and they're doing like a Twitch drop, so I got those, and it's just a fun game. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok, the demo. I played the demo. Game I'm very excited about. A game I played, but I'm excited to replay. The demo has rewards that go into the main game. So I did the story demo, which I admit I skipped every cutscene because I had played this when it was a PS5 demo. I played it on the PS5 version of the game, and it's the same level that they use as the demo on the Switch 2 version. So I've done this level many, many times, and I'll do it again in the main game. And then I did the quests. And weirdly, the first 3 quests I could not find people to play with at all, so I had to do them solo. And then that unlocks the 4th quest with the new Endless Ragnarok bonuses that I was able to find people with. And that was weird because you're level 10 versus a level 50 boss. And that was fun to take down. The summons are a really cool addition to the game.
Mm.
And the Link having, I forget her name, she joins you for the full Link, which is awesome because, and it makes sense why she's not there in the main game, but I won't spoil it. But yeah, it was just a ton of fun. So I got all the bonuses, which I'm sure are going to be minor, but I was like, I just want to do it. Yeah, I definitely recommend the demo. Try it out, see if you like it, because I'm excited for the main game. Another small game I went into, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, a game I wanted to play for a while, and I was like, let me play it now. So I went through, and I'll tell you, it was more difficult than I thought in the campaign. There were levels that I died and had to come back, but I beat it. I beat it all the way through, and I didn't get anyone max level. Like, they encourage you to like change it up for different missions. but I had a lot of fun. It felt like being in the arcade again. I did it solo, so being in the arcade with no one else around with any quarters. But it was like Turtles arcade, or Simpsons arcade, or X-Men arcade, and just I had a blast. It was a really good game. I play a little Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection more for my stepmother-in-law, who loved Mortal Kombat. When it came out, and I was like, "Hey, look!" and she didn't want to play, so I played a little. Monster Hunter Stories 3 had a DLC drop. They had a Capcom Spotlight, which we'll talk about. DLC drop with the Rudy DLC, which I had bought because I got the Ultimate Edition. A lot of people were very upset because it was just the 4 quests and the rewards were minor, and I agree with that. The final boss was, I almost quit. I was like, oh my god, this boss is way too difficult for a side quest. But I beat it, and it was great to get back into that game. It's just a wonderful game. I'm not doing the post game where there's more challenging monsters and all that. I, I don't need that. I'm good, but I had fun with it. I'm glad that they added more stuff, and I'm glad I did it. Adventures of Elliot. What can I say? Last time I started it, and I got the true ending. Now at 30 hours in, I got the true ending. I couldn't stop. What a game! I don't want to spoil it. I know Greg is playing it. I could just say I did everything. I did all the quests. Make sure to do side quests when they appear. Check it often, because some side quests will disappear if you get too far in the story. It's a blast. If you love Zelda, if you love Mana, if you love ease, you will like this game. It is just really good. The time travel mechanics are really good, and the way it all comes together for the true ending, I was impressed. I liked it. It wasn't anything earth shattering, but the puzzles
Yeah.
fit together really, really
30
well.
hours isn't too bad. So
No,
that's good. That's good.
you
I was
can
still on the
pretty
fence.
much
I love the demo, but I was like, oh man, if this is gonna be like 100+ hour game, I don't know about this.
you can probably. I mean, you can get the bad. Keep in mind, I did everything.
Yeah.
So when I unlocked an area, I went back and I did all the exploration I could before I continued the story. So then there were times where I did an entire dungeon, got to the boss room, and there was nothing there because the boss didn't trigger yet. Continued the story, and they said, "Oh, you need to go to this dungeon to get the item." And I'm like, "Okay, warp to the dungeon, warp to the boss room, fight the boss." And I've done this already. I did it. But yeah, it's a great game. You could probably get 25 hours. Can probably get you to the bad ending, because you have to do the bad ending, then you do the good ending, then you do the true ending. You have to do them in order, and you get little marks on your save file. But yeah, true ending is well worth pursuing. And then Star Fox, which we'll talk about here in a bit. It was great to play Star Fox again. Just what a remake! It's just a fantastic game. On PC side, still doing Final Fantasy 14, and the mobile side, still doing Mario Kart Tour, LinkedIn games, the New York Times games, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Dragon Quest Smash Grab, and still messing around with the city a bit.
Nice. Yeah, if you're in the chat, let us know what you've been playing as well. Greg, what have you been up to?
Well, just to ride on the Adventures of Elliot train, so I finally got around to playing the prologue demo. I wanted to at least get that done before starting the main game, just to make sure that I was ready to know what I was tackling into. And I really definitely enjoyed the demo, so I went pretty much right to the eShop and downloaded it, and was happy to see that it just transitioned right over. Like, you want to continue where you left off the demo? I was like, yes, please. I don't want to replay everything I just already did. So I'm already kind of first time back into the main world there, so it's like only whatever 6-7 hours in, but I'm really enjoying it. And as Barry said, it's like Legend of Zelda, and it's really been capturing me. And I love that HD 2D art style that Squaresoft or Square Enix does. I don't know why I said Squaresoft, but excellent visual style, and I really like doing that. Enjoying playing those games that they've been making in that style. Um, Friend of the channel, like last time, OK Reps had recommended Under the Island, so I went and had checked out the demo for that one, and that's another like 2D Zelda kind of like clone type game where you're just adventuring on this island thing, and I enjoyed the demo for that one so much that I went up and got that one. And then I actually went through and I've actually already beat the game. It's like a short game. It's only like 8 or 9 hours of gameplay. There's even more if I went for the 100% route, but I don't believe there's any type of major reward for that, so I didn't really dive in to get absolutely everything, but I got a good amount of the content, a lot of the different weapons that you do to advance through like the game and some of the optional ones that are harder challenges. So it was a huge blast. I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I liked it, and the map really reminded me of like the Link's Awakening kind of style map where it's like you can scrolls just like a little bit, but then there's like it's nicely like has like the pixels and everything that like distinguish it out to make it look really nice and active. So yeah, that was a very fun game, and definitely appreciate OK Reps for recommending that one. And then I also checked out the Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok demo. This is not usually my style of game, so it probably is not gonna be something that I pick up, but I guess the demo wasn't, like, too bad. It wasn't, like, difficult. I was happy to see there was multiple options where you could either just, 1, enjoy the story, or 2, like, have a very light combat, like, usage. You could just spam Y, it was saying, so that's kinda what I was doing, and that's also the mode that I selected, so it was like a sample the combat, but, usually those lots of team, like, elements, I'm not usually those aren't my style games, that's why, unfortunately, I'm not into the Xenoblade stuff, but, it was pretty cool, and the graphics and everything looked very great, but it's probably not gonna be a game that I will buy from that. And then pretty much still on the Roblox side, it's I was still playing the Adopt Me game, and this time around, the new one is the Animal Hospital that my daughter discovered, and it's another one of those, like, horror kinda simulations where you can check in, like, some different patients, and they call them, like, anomalies, where, like, it's like a almost like a possessed patient tries to get in there and can wreak havoc, and you have to, like, kinda heal them, heal the proper ones and don't let the anomaly ones, like, into the back room where they can, like, trail court like, kill off your team and everything, so that was kind of an interesting team-based game that just has, like, that roguelike element where you can just each run will be different, and you have, like, your own team of 4 players and different items and stuff you can buy from the shop in between each wave and stuff like that, so it's pretty fun game there.
Nice. It's so interesting that that version is because it's so it in its very basic idea is very similar to Relink, but it's different. It's still a team of 4, and it has roguelike elements in the certain move or mode within Endless Ragnarok, and yet one is really you really like and one you really don't. So it's really interesting
Yeah,
how that
it's more the combat thing. I
comes
mean,
around.
these are like small
Yep.
mini game things where you just like tap on the screen to do this. It's
Right.
not like it's a lot more of like the Monster Hunter style combat where there's like these giant enemy thing or even like hordes of enemies that are not as easy as like Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
And it's I'm not the best with like chaining attacks together, and
Mm,
I'm just better at just attacking, and I
yeah.
prefer
It's
like
not a button
either
masher
They
game.
wa
actually
Yeah.
do they also like if you do the Y, like push Y, it auto will chain for you.
Yeah.
Like it does all that for you.
Yeah.
yeah, that's why I think it was just saying like you just press Y the spam Y and you'll be good for the combat.
Yeah. I like how they have yeah, they've tried hard to make it accessible to people who are not really into it. And yeah, now that my embargo is over, I can talk a little bit more my experience, but I've not played the demo. I just played what I got to play at the Summer Game Fest. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I went in there going, I have no clue. I've never experienced Grand Blue Fantasy at all. I barely know what I'm talking about. And then going into the presentation they had and the interview and playing the game and everything. Yeah, I was a little overwhelmed because it's a lot when you don't know what you've experienced before, and they threw me right into endless Ragnarok content. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm trying to figure it out and everything. But the game looks really good, doesn't it? Like on Switch 2, it
It looks
moves
great
really
on Switch
well.
too.
They've spent a lot of time on getting the Switch 2 version just as good as the other versions, also in handheld. So if you want to check out more, I've got a huge like summary of my interview with the developers over on NintendoFuse.com. You can find out a lot more about the game. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing it, but I have not tried the demo yet.
I
So
recommend you do the demo just because you get rewards for the main. It doesn't carry over, but if you do each quest, you get a package of
cool,
items and like equipment for the main game for free.
cool. Cool. Jim in the chat said she's been playing Dave the Diver DLC. It's great. That does not surprise me at all. And she's wanting to get back into Elliot as well. I've been playing some Star Fox. We'll talk about that in just a little bit more in depth. And got back into Rocket League with this new season, playing just a little bit here and there. But I am playing it again, trying to, get the training wheels back off, because my skills are a little dusty. And then not haven't really played a whole lot. I've got several demos that are downloaded, getting ready for different games and other stuff in on the backlog and everything, but have not had a whole lot of time over the last couple weeks. And so I've been playing mostly Pokemon TCGP, Clash Royale, and Pokemon Go, still on my mobile phone. As I, am in between things here and there and pop it up, play a couple rounds, throw it away, and then move on to everything else I got to do. But let's talk Star Fox, because we finally got a brand new version of Star Fox 64 that it's come out for Nintendo Switch 2. Dropped just a few days ago, and we had a demo that we've talked about on previous podcasts, but now we have the full game. Star Fox has been remade yet again, but this time in glorious 4K HDR, and basically the same story again, but with lots of different cutscenes and some added things to add to the experience overall, and a kind of interesting multiplayer that they've swapped out for the last multiplayer. So Barry, what do you think of Star Fox so far?
I thought it was. I mean, I think it's a great game. I will say I found the difficulty. I played on normal, my first playthrough, and I was like, oh, maybe I should be able to get at least an emblem, but I couldn't, or medal. I mean, I couldn't even get a medal on my first playthrough just because it was like relearning it. And I found, and of course, I chose the hard path because I'm like, I'm doing the hard path. I want the true ending.
Yeah.
And I found the Star Wolf on Venom 2 significantly more difficult. But again, I was also trying to keep everyone alive. So like I would be doing it, and like all of a sudden, Pep, you died. Oh, restart. And I love the restart feature. I know some people. I saw some people complaining, you don't lose a life. Stop it. Pretend you lost a life.
Oh,
Like
so thankful I didn't lose a life.
yeah, every game doesn't need to be Dark Souls, okay? Like, it just allows you to get the medals will be easier when I eventually go for them. But I did beat it, and I was like, okay, that was fun. But then I realized I went to challenge mode, and I realized for the first time you can play any level you want as long as you've done it. And I was like, oh, that's a nice feature, because if you want to play like, Section Z, you have to go through the whole thing. You can just go to Sector Z. And then I switched to easy for the sole purpose of taking the paths to get through every level, and that way I can unlock it all into challenge mode. And I beat it on the other difficult, the Venom 1. So I saw the fake ending, which kind of feels more like a setup for adventures than the canon ending, because Andros is back in adventures. But yeah, it was a great experience. Aquas was tough too, man. I tell you, Aquas, I never liked the Blue Marine, but that was a tough level. I know some people don't like the voice acting. The voice acting's fine. The voice direction's fine. I think a lot of people will compare with the lines that are the same. They'll compare immediately to how it was in 64. A lot of that is nostalgia. A lot of that's because some of them have just become memes at this time. It's like if you're a Dragon Ball fan and someone else decides to say it's over 9,000 for Vegeta, and it's not the exact way the Ocean dub did. It's like, well, that's which they did, and it's not the same, as the meme. Of course, that's kind of the way it is with the meme. But I thought it was great. The graphics never bothered me. I like the transitions in between levels. I started to skip them when I started to like, oh yeah, now we've transitioned into talking about the train. We've done this before. But the whole with Slippy getting knocked down, and the how Fox was really for him, and Falco showed respect for him. I'm like, I like that. I like the character growth there, and the tease. There's two teases. The bad ending has the tease, and the good ending even has, oh, there's more missions. Let's go. And I think this was a great test. And this is something I was on the Pure Nintendo show recently, talking about Jem and her show, and there's something that some of her co-hosts said that they were not a fan of the Switch 2 editions, and I said, well, the way I look at it is this: is the Switch 2 editions were pretty much the devs working on figuring out how to make games on the Switch 2 to make a new game, and the stuff they worked on, they just kind of said, well, we did it, let's just release it as a Switch 2 edition. And I really feel that Nintendo is testing Valen Studios with this, remake this as a reboot, and now that you've got your feet wet and you know the universe and you've proven yourself, make a new Star Fox. We've seen them do that with Mercury Steam with Metroid, and we've seen them do that with Grezza with Zelda, and I truly am in the camp of we will see a new Star Fox game now from this team.
Yeah.
And I hope so.
Star Fox 2, remake of Star Fox 2?
No, I think they might
story.
just go in one direction.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm with you as well.
Star Fox 2 remake of Star Fox yet again. Star Fox 64.
Well, Star Fox 2 is its own thing that we finally got just a couple years ago.
Real Star Fox 2.
Yeah, but yeah, I've loved it. I played it for, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours the other day, and played through it all the way through 3 times. Also, same experience as you, Barry. I ended up going the hard route the first time around because I couldn't help myself by doing, the more difficult challenges and getting through there and everything. And yeah, got my butt handed to me by Star Wolf. And finally I had to switch to easy mode to beat Venom 2 the very beginning.
Oh,
but
wow.
Then I played through the easy route, and I purposely, set myself on the easy route. And then I went back and did it again on the hard route and had no problem with it because my ship was upgraded this time. For some reason, I had lost my upgrades going into, and I didn't realize it because everything was, new experience for me. And that's why I lost to Star Wolf the very first time. It is very, very difficult to beat Star Wolf on the second battle for Venom 2 if you don't have an upgraded ship. If you have an upgraded ship, it is so much easier, and it's easy
I
to
didn't
fly
have
right through it.
anything. It was a base. I also found it weird that they talked about, like, they had dialogue, like, what? They got new ships? I thought they were gone, and, like, I never saw Star Wolf in that playthrough, and I'm like, did they miss that dialogue?
That's funny. Yeah, so I actually saw him both times in that one.
I went the North Path, I went to Sector Y, then I did Aquas, and I just stayed on the North Path. So I never wound up seeing Star Wolf.
Yeah, I went
until Venom 2.
I went through the asteroid field and went back up, and so I ended up seeing them on the way. But yeah, I've had a really good time with it. Played around with a little bit of the challenges. Have not played the multiplayer yet, but I've watched some videos of people playing online. It seems really interesting. I still wish they'd had the regular dogfight thing. It's interesting. It's very, very simple as they've done this online thing. You don't even get to choose what type of battle you go into. It's just an online thing, and if there's not enough people, they throw you against bots and you play with other people, and that's about it. So I think there should be more to it. Hopefully they'll maybe add to it, or maybe they'll save that for an eventual sequel. But I'm enjoying it a lot so far. And here's the deal. Like, Barry, I've told you this before, when I played through the original Star Fox 64 so many times, and I never was about the medals whatsoever. I just wanted to beat the game, and that was it. And I'd beat the game once or twice, I'd put it down, I'd play it again, I'd beat the game once or twice, I'd move on and everything. And then when you're like, man, I played that game so many times to get the medals, and I was like, I never did that. Sucked into getting medals this time around.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what's driving me to keep playing this time, is get all the medals, and I'm going to try to get all the challenges, at least for the normal difficulty. I don't know if I'll go for all the hard ones or not, but I'll try to go for the normal ones at least.
Yeah, I started doing the normal challenges. I did the first 2 areas, and I'm on the third. I didn't go for any of the experts yet, but I'm gonna do it on a slower pace. Like, oh, you know what? I've got a little bit, like 20, 30 minutes, whatever. I don't have enough time to sit down for another game. That's when I'm going to go for it. But I don't know if I will go for the medals. It really depends because there's so many games coming out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I agree with you on the multiplayer. I didn't do it, but I said before it came out, I wish they had the original multiplayer there. And I've heard from a lot of people wanting more from the multiplayer. So hopefully between this and the new game, they give us some kind of DLC that adds the old multiplayer and some new multiplayer maps in there, and just keep it alive. Just kind of keep people excited for Star Fox in between. But I feel like this game has been done for a while. I feel like this game wasn't just made in 2026. I feel this game was definitely made in 2025, and they just polished it up, and they're been already working on the new game, and maybe we'll see the new game as early as next year.
Yeah. Greg, I know you haven't played it yet, but have you thoughts or questions?
Not like a ton of questions. I know we've covered some like the changes in the battle mode 4 and like with the demo and everything like that, and even like the what's been covered there. But it pretty much sounds like it's a shot for shot kind of remake with a few extra scenes. And I did end up getting the game. I just didn't get a chance to play for like an hour or two today to be able to pretty much fully see what all is going on with like upgrading the ship and everything like that. But that's probably good advice, so I don't just it's like, hey, I know how to tackle the hard mode right away, and then just boom, get defeated. So that's great to know to do it more intended and not just try to push it just because I have the familiarity with the 64 version.
Yeah. Yeah, I think other than, it's a fantastic visual upgrade, I have no problems with the voices either. I think they sound great. I think some of the delivery is just updated on how they're delivering the lines and what lines they say. I think Rob 64 is the only one that I'm like,
Yes.
that could be a little more robotic.
Yeah,
Kind of
I
it's,
agree
it's
there.
an odd voice choice to go with, but the rest of them are fine. I have no problem with them at all. Fox seems to have a little more attitude this time around.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem like this young, like I'm learning my way kind of thing. He seems like he's a little arrogant as well to match Falco's arrogance. So that's a little interesting. So seeing that, so you have this whole thing, I'm forgetting what it's called, but you have like bios about all the different
Yeah.
characters and locations and enemies and weapons and all those different things. And in it says, so Fox McCloud is 18 years old. So is Slippy, and Falco's 19 and Pepe's like 45 or something like that. He's in his 40s, I think. So it was interesting to like they officially attached ages. So it's like we know what their canon age is at least at this point in the game. So that was interesting to find out as well. But
My
yeah,
favorite thing right now is just watching people online discover Star Fox for the first time. They're like, I never played a Star Fox game, and this is my first one, and now I see what people like the series, and it's just wonderful to see. And I was playing it, and it's always weird when you're married to somebody who didn't have the same systems as you did growing up. Because my wife never had a 64; she went from the Super Nintendo to the PlayStation, and I was playing it, and then like Rob 64 started talking, and she saw that, and she's like started laughing. She's like, Rob 64, that's funny. I'm like,
yeah.
welcome to the joke from 1997. Like you're here 30 years late. But yeah, that was the joke back then, and like he's still called Rob 64, and they won't change that.
Yeah. Well, cool. I think it's pretty obvious that we're recommending this game. And if you get a chance to play Star Fox, let us know what you think, either in the comments or hop in our Discord and let us know what you think about the game. Well, let's move on to some headlines. We got several that we're going to talk through before we jump into some more showcases and events that's been happening over the last couple weeks. So, Barry, you want to kick us off with this first headline?
Sure, for those of you playing Pokemon TCG Pocket, brand new set, Everyday Wonders, just launched yesterday, new booster packs. It's a smaller set, one pack, and it is coming with a bunch of events for the month of July. So early to mid-July, take on other players in the Everyday Wonders emblem event. You can earn emblems based on how many battles you win and complete missions to earn shine dust and other helpful items, like hourglasses for more packs. Mid-July, during the Community Week event, special missions will be available where you can trade and share cards to obtain trade hourglasses, special accessories, and other rewards. Mid to late July, by winning special solo battles, you can score B-Series Volume 10 promo packs featuring Hisuian Zura during the Hisuian Zora drop event. You could also obtain Growlithe and Amoga cards during the Wonder Pick event. So, similar events they have every single month, but this time for Everyday Wonders.
And into the Nintendo Music app updates on June 18th, we got the soundtrack for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. On June 22nd, we got the free roam tracks for I don't know, I said Super Mario Kart World, and those were exclusively the Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and Yoshi's Story games from the Nintendo 64. Then on June 25th, we got um just like some soundtracks for the Animal Crossing New Horizons, the Happy Home Paradise. So I don't know why I had trouble getting that out there. And then finally on June 29th, more free roam tracks from Mario Kart World, this time from Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart DS.
And Nintendo of Japan has announced some price increases for Nintendo Switch Online. And those price increases are going to be basically from 20% all the way up to, I think, 30%, depending on which tier it's going to be. So far, they've not announced this for the United States, for North America, for any other region. But if they end up doing that, just so you know, like what it could be happening in the future, an individual 1 month right now is like $3.99 per month if you pay monthly, but that would jump to like $5.33 ish in the future. So that kind of a jump. If you're paying, let's jump up to the individual 12 month is currently $19.99 for a year of Nintendo Switch Online. It would jump to $24.99. So just a $5 increase. The family 12-month plan would increase from $34.99 to approximately $45.10. The expansion pack for the individual would jump from $49.99 to $60.19, and the family expansion pack would jump from from $79.99 to approximately $88.98 if it follows the same price increase trend that they are doing in Japan. Again, we have not gotten any confirmation that it's going to be happening in North America, but if it does, those are some prices we could expect. Also, unfortunate that South Korea has also now received the price increase for the hardware. So lots of other regions are getting hardware price increases, and South Korea is now on that list.
And I know the past two podcasts we've been we've talked a lot about showcases, and you're thinking, oh, we're good for a while. Nope. The Indie Premiere Showcase, this Indie Premiere Digital Showcase, actually will debut its first ever showcase at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, July 1st. The physical showcase will happen July 2nd to 5th in Pittsburgh at the Anthrocon. Then the Indie Premiere closes out on July 7th with another live stream, this time for their award ceremony that will start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Over the course of this 7-day event, they will be highlighting 50 upcoming indie games, including developers like Devolver Digital, Raw Fury, Daedalic, 11-Bit Studios, and many more.
And just in case that showcase wasn't enough for you, there's even another one that's been announced, but this time it's not until August 7th. So that's the THQ Digital Showcase, and that's going to be on Friday, August 7th of this year, right around the 12 p.m. Pacific time, or at least out by us, I believe that's 3 p.m. Eastern time, and then wherever is in between there, and then for other countries, it's be later in the evening. But the press release says that you can expect the showcase to shine a spotlight on titles such as Titan Quest 2, Wreckfest 2, The Guild, Europa 1410, Fate Keeper, Expedition Samurai, The Eternal Life of Goldman, and The Way of the Hunter 2, and more to come as we count down as we count down to the showtime.
Cool. Lots of stuff going on. Barry, any thoughts on these headlines?
I'm always excited for more showcases, and when there's a little bit of break in between where it's just one showcase, it's easier to digest than here's 50, have fun.
Yeah.
The price increase sucks. I hope it doesn't come here. I'm not a fan of everything getting more expensive at this stage of the generation, as opposed to how it usually goes, where everything gets cheaper. Nintendo Music is something that I really haven't been messing around with, but I'm glad there's more stuff. And Pokemon TCG Pocket, I've already opened up several packs of Everyday Wonders, and looking forward to the new drop events.
Cool. Greg, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Happy to see that the Pokemon trading card game got some good updates there. It sounds like, even though I'm no longer playing it, so happy for just to see them to continue to support it. The tracks for the Nintendo Music application, I did check out some of the Mario Kart World things. I kind of wish they could almost merge all those together, because that's a lot of different playlists that only have like 4 or 5 songs on them. And like, I was listening to the one that had the Super Nintendo one, not one of these, but it was just or not Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, the original Super Mario Brothers is what I was trying to spit out there. But it was pretty much only like 4 or 5 tracks, because that's how many songs were in like the original NES Super Mario Brothers. So I kind of wish they could merge those together without creating a custom one. But yeah, but obviously it kind of stinks to have be paying more money for the plan, and especially since they're not really upgrading the service. I know the online service has been kinda hit or miss for certain games like Smash Brothers and other things, where it requires very precise, no lag situations, and if we paying more, hopefully we'll see bump to the actual service being provided for that. But then, yeah, it'd be really cool to check out these new showcases and cover them in the next couple episodes here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about Everyday Wonders. I got my last card on a Wonder pick for the last one. I forget what it was
Nice.
called. So it was like not the very very last one, but the last before all the art cards.
Yeah.
And so that was like a luck. I love, it's one of the best feelings ever when you get a Wonder pick for like the card you really need. I was like, yes.
So I got my last one for the set too.
Nice. So that's exciting. Greg, good to know that you're not playing anymore. I've been liking all your showcase stuff, and so you probably got a lot of things to redeem when you eventually do log in at some point. Uh, but yeah, Nintendo Music app. I got a chance the other day, a rare chance that I was driving around town. I was like, you know what? I'm out of other podcasts I want to listen to. There wasn't any like albums or music I want to listen to. I was like, I'm gonna throw on. So it now has on CarPlay, and so I was like, let's turn on CarPlay and play some Nintendo Music app, and it was fun. However, I checked out the free roam tracks from Mario Kart World, and same complaints as you, Greg. Also, it puts all the different versions in there as well. So you have the regular version, the extended version, and it's just like one after another. So I'm like, I don't if I put I that why do you think I would want to listen to 3 different versions of this song in a row? I want you to go to the next one. And so like that was weird. So I think they need to polish it a little more with some quality of life improvements and try to think through how people are actually going to use this Nintendo. But it's cool that it's there, but needs some little polish there. It was fun to drive around town and listening to Mario Kart music, though. I will say that. I had to resist the urge of throwing bananas at people,
Beating.
and bumping into people and weaving and
Like
trying to drift.
Super
Uh,
Horn.
yeah. And then price increases, like you guys, that sucks. I hope it doesn't happen here. But my guess is we'll eventually get it. I mean, none of these price increases look like they're slowing down. It's just to take care of extra costs because everything is going up. And the good thing is that Nintendo Switch Online is still far, far less than anything else out there, which is great. So even a $5 increase per year doesn't seem like that much, but it still stinks that it might happen. Sorry to those of you in Japan that are getting it. And more showcases are great. Yeah. It'd be exciting to see, especially brand new ones like the Indie Premiere Digital Showcase. That'll be fun to check out as well. Going to the chat. Looks like Jakester has joined us, and let's see. He's talking Star Fox. A lot of the stuff he's been trying to finish most of Star Fox was getting all the different game chat avatars. So yeah, that's fun. We didn't talk about that, but yeah, you can. I turned it on just to like test them out because you can go through which ones you've unlocked. You're like moving around and sticking out my tongue and making my face do different things and seeing, what Fox and Falco and everything look like when I try to do that. And then let's see. Yeah. And Jakester wants to play with us. So we could. Greg has it. So yeah, maybe sometime we could arrange that. We can take on some. We'll take on Star Wolf as a foursome. See how we can do.
I do have one other headline I'd like to just throw in here really quickly, like an announcement. I posted this in our Discord, another plug to join our Discord. But PM Studios, we launched our exclusive Panex store yesterday. We're going to do exclusive variant covers and collector's editions that you can only find on this store. And to promote the launch, we also have our own social media platform, also called Panex. It was previously called Fuse. And if you go on that platform, just contribute. It's all gaming platform. It's all gaming social media. That's it. Post reviews, read reviews, like stuff. You gain levels. And if you get to level 10, we are rewarding everybody with a brand new exclusive variant cover for Yuka Replayly for the Switch 2 for $1. You could buy it right now for $40, but if you support the social media and get to level 10, it's $1 plus shipping. That is an insane deal. So it's free to join the social media, free to get to level 10 just by contributing and talking to other gamers. And then you get the game for $1 plus shipping. It was like $6 and change. It's a fantastic game, and you're getting an exclusive cover. So it's a collectible item plus a great game, and it's Switch 2 on cart game, not a game key card. So the store is store.panexgames.com, and check it out. And if you join Panex, let me know. I'm on there.
Cool. I didn't realize that Fuse changed it to Panex. So
yeah, it changed to Panex. We're rebranding.
Wow. Does my points or my level carry over from Rise?
Everything it just instantly swapped over.
Good. That much closer to level 10.
So just getting to level 10, it's a great platform. And like I said, that our CEO just wants to support the store, wants to give back to the community. And, it's hard launching a brand new store and just like, hey, you know what? We're giving you a brand new exclusive variant cover. We'll have a fantastic game complete on cart for the Switch 2 for $1, which is, the price is raising up. That's a good price.
Yeah, that's true. If you're gonna be paying more for your platform or your system, and you're paying more for your online, here you go. There's some ways to save some money. Nice. Yeah, and honestly, we forgot to put this in the rundown as well. There's been, more bad news. We're not gonna cover all the different layoffs and closures of different studios and all that stuff because there's so much. However, Nintendo also said, "Hey, we're gonna give everybody a 10% raise this next year." So good job, Nintendo, for not laying people off and not closing studios and all that stuff as well. And yeah, and then, however, and among the good news, Nintendo also did delist a game today. So, Cruise and Blast. If you didn't get it digitally, sorry, you're going to miss out now because it's no longer there, but still available.
Well, at least it's physically.
Yeah. So, well, let's move into some main discussion for this episode. We've got a few different events to walk through that have happened here recently. And the first one is the Arc System Works showcase that happened on June 24th. So I want to run through what happened at this event. I'll throw the video on the video version. You guys can kind of watch that as I'm talking through all the details. But yeah, this happened on June 24th, 2026 at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And Arc System Works officially shared their major highlights from their showcase and the live stream. And the developers broke down the latest updates and future projects. And in that, we got several different announcements. So I'm going to run through these and then we'll kind of discuss what they were and what you guys think. So, Clippa in Providence Shadow was a game that's shown off. It's a mystery RPG coming to the Nintendo Switch on September 24th, 2026. And then we got Danutal. It's an alien interview adventure game, which is really interesting. You interview aliens. This is coming to Steam in 2026. So no word if it's coming to Switch at all. But if you do have Steam and you want to check that out sometime this year. Demon's Night Fever is an RTA simulation RPG coming out in 2026. No platforms were listed in the showcase, so that might come out for Switch or Switch 2 eventually. Absalom is a belt scroll action game that's coming to Switch 2 on September 17th in digital and physical formats, featuring improved performance, family sharing, full cross-platform multiplayer, free upgrade from the Switch and there's let me say that again. There's a free upgrade from the Switch 1 version without losing your save data or your progress. And then also Dave the Diver, the complete edition, is coming physically to Switch 2 on October 8th, 2026, and includes all the DLC. And Silver Lining has since confirmed that both Absalom and Dave the Diver are Switch 2 editions on the cart, which means that they are also playable on Switch 1. If you have a Switch 1, you can buy that and play them on both systems. Damon and Baby released 3 months ago on Switch, and now they have version 2 is available and adds Sir Bloodledge trials and new costumes, and they promise that more updates will be coming in the future. Under Night in Birth 2 Sis Celis is a dramatic, stylish 2D fighting action game on Switch, and it's getting a new character called Sohar in summer of 2026. We got to see Marvel Token Fighting Souls. This is a 4-person fighting game that begins as a 2v2 and then grows. You can also play it if you want to stick with a single player or single character, you can, but there's a 4v4 eventually. And that's releasing on August 7th in Japan and Asia, and then August 6th in all other regions. The systems, at least right now, we know are PS5 and PC. But here's hoping that it's coming to Switch or Switch 2. Guilty Gear Strive is a fighting game that's been out for 6 years and now available on Switch, or it is available on Switch, but it's getting a brand new update on July 2nd, so just a couple days, to add the second Blazing Pass called Duel 2 in Ennui protocol, and will add new characters, modes, and features. And then finally, Blaze Blue Central Fiction is, after 11 years of being out, getting a brand new character coming, and we found out who that was eventually at EVO. So we'll talk about that in just a bit, about who that is. But yeah, Barry, what's your thoughts on what happened at the Arc System Works showcase?
Yeah, it was a good showcase overall. I'm a fan of Arc System Works and definitely their fighting mechanics. And I will say I'm surprised to see so many games that have been out for a long time suddenly randomly getting updates again. I was like, wait, what? BlazBlue getting a new character? What? It was a great series, so I'm excited for that. Under Night in Birth 2 is another great fighting series, so it's great to see a new character there. Same with Guilty Gear; they're all fantastic. The mystery RPG looks really cool. I don't know if I'll get a chance to play it, but it's definitely out now on my radar. Absalom, I've heard nothing but fantastic things about, and I've had it on Switch 1. But now it's like, oh, if I'm going to play it, I'm going to wait and get the Switch 2 version. Dave the Diver, again, I've heard great things about. I haven't played it. Gem in the chat has been playing it, and there's already a Switch 2 version, but I'm glad to see that they're doing a complete physical. And then about Marvel Token, it looks great, but unfortunately, I believe Sony paid for it. So at the moment, it will be not on Switch. However, that doesn't mean forever, because Stellar Blade was also, shipped up, made the game, but PlayStation Studios published it, and it was a PlayStation exclusive. Now Shift Up owns the game, and it's coming to Switch too. So this doesn't mean it's going to be forever. And if that's the case, it'll probably be a year or two from now, after they've added a bunch of characters, and Switch 2 will get the complete edition at that point. Because it does look good, and as a Marvel fan, I do want to play it.
Yeah. Greg, any of these stand out to you?
It was pretty much just the Clippa, because that was like that mystery RPG game that very briefly said. It was obviously new to me as well, and it was certainly on my radar to be checking out as we get closer to that release date later this year. But I know the bulk of these were like fighting games, and that's not usually my cup of tea for video games. So it's just great that we have so many great options from like the teams and stuff, and great to see more series getting new like updates and stuff over several years of being available, and even like brand new entries and everything too. So just really happy for all the fighting fans that get to have some good cake with this showcase.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you guys. That Clippa game seemed really interesting. It like a mystery style RPG is really, I mean, that might pull me in to an RPG if it's like kind of a, solving a mystery kind of thing. So we'll see. Again, if it's like 100+ hours, I don't have time for that. But if it's like Elliot, where Barry found out it's like 30 hours, I'm like, okay, I might be able to do that. Day the Diver is a fun game. I want to play more of it, and so the fact that they continue to bring out more and more stuff, so it's cool they have a complete edition now. But yeah, it's so much more than the initial game that it really came out for. I mean, like when it first came out, it was, you're diving and that's about it. You're trying to, collect different stuff under the water, but now it's like you're going into towns and you're building all these things, and it's like all this extra DLC that they brought to it, and so much more than just the standard diving and finding game. So yeah, excited about that. And yeah, Marvel fighting game looks really cool, but I don't think my rogue ally is probably powerful enough to play that. If it is, it's not going to be running at any sort of speed that would be helpful in a fighting game at all. And so I'll probably not be playing it unless it does eventually come to Switch 2. But it looks pretty cool though.
I
All right.
think they'll do something with the Marvel license, because like Spider-Man went to PC and stuff like that, and I'm sure they'll do some kind of cross-play. We want more people after the game's initial. That's my hope anyway, is that
Yeah.
Marvel kind of says, all right, look, let's get the game up. But then again, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was published by Nintendo, and it's still exclusive.
Right. Right. Yeah, there's so many Marvel games out now too. I'm like, they just don't
I know.
stop. I'm like, there's no way I could play them all at this point. And
Did you
actually,
play
like,
Cosmic Invasion at all?
no, not yet. It's on my list, like, because I want to, because it's like it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up kind of thing, right? So it's like arcade
Yep.
style. So like, it sounds like something I would love. But yeah, again, there's too many games. There's too many Marvel games to check them all out and sink into. But that's one that won't take nearly as much time. So I eventually do want to check it out. Well, cool. Well, let's move on to the next one, and that's the Capcom Spotlight. So the Capcom Spotlight happened uh, on June 25th, so the following day to the Arc System Works Spotlight. And this one focused a lot on Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, and the rest of the Capcom uh, IP that they're really pushing. And so We got information, which Barry's already alluded to earlier, that Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection has a new paid DLC and features a side story focused on exploring the origin story of Rudy, the royal feline. Dropped right after the spotlight on June 25th, as well as a free update that brings in royal monsters and post game content where you can challenge a harder version of the final battle. And once you beat it, almost all of the existing monsters will become royal monsters in the field. And then Monster Hunter Wilds, Ascendance. I don't know how to pronounce that. I should have written down some notes in there. Ascendance. Anyway, it's a massive expansion to the Monster Hunter Wilds game, and it is in development and aiming for a 2027 release date, featuring a continuation of the game, new areas, and an introduction of the Master Rank quests, among many other updates. And then they moved into some Resident Evil talk. So we got Resident Evil Veronica is a new entry in the Resident Evil series coming to Switch 2. Resident Evil Requiem is available now on Switch 2, and they highlighted photo mode and a mini games, as well as Amiibo for Grace and Leon are coming on July 30th. That will unlock weapon skins within the game. And then the World of Resident Evil special immersive exhibit will focus on the game's 30-year history at the Shibuya Beam in Tokyo from October 30th through December 24th this year. And the final Resident Evil announcement was that Resident Evil Symphony of Legacy World Tour will be starting in August 2026, and it's focused on music from the game's 30-year history. Let's stop there because there's several more announcements and just talk Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. What do you think, Barry?
Well, I'm happy to see more Monster Hunter Stories 3. I do feel this is the end because the Rudy was part of the deluxe edition. We knew it was coming. And the added content, the added free update with the stronger monsters and the royal monsters. That's great. It's one of those where it depends how deep you want to get into the game, and it's very different. Stories is very different than the main Monster Hunter, where people would just keep going in nauseum. They'll just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and the ceiling is never reached. And Stories is not that type of game, even though they allow you to kind of do that. It's more you've completed the story. How much do you really want to be OP? How much do you want to challenge yourself? Great combat, great graphics, great story, great world. And if you want to spend more time, this is the way to do that. Like I said, I did the side story. It's 4 missions, just like all the other side stories with all the other characters. It's really extra special if you played Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, because it involves Naviru, who was in Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2, and you see some clips from that. And you get a few little items, and it's nice. But it's quick. It didn't need to be months down the road. Like, this could have just been included in the main game. But I'm glad it's there. As for Resident Evil, I'm glad Code Veronica is getting some kind of love, because it always felt like the black sheep of the family, even more so than Zero, since it wasn't numbered. I don't know why they dropped off the code, but happy to see it go to Switch 2. Will most likely not be playing it since I don't do horror anymore. But I'm kind of surprised they haven't brought like the original Resident Evil 2, 3, and Code Veronica to Switch, because it could easily run those games. And there's a charm to playing the original as well as the remake. They are different games, so I'd like to see them do that. But who knows? And the symphony's cool. I mean, I'm not going to be there for it, but I love to hear live orchestral game music, so I might check it out on YouTube if they put up some kind of stream.
Yeah. Greg, what do you think?
Pretty much mostly a pass for me. I'm not really big into Monster Hunter in general. I understand Stories is different than the main series, but it's probably not anything that have the time to dive into, and I don't even know if I'll fully
There's a
enjoy
demo.
that stuff. But yep, I have to mark that one to my big list of demos to check out. And then also,
It carries
I've never really
over.
yeah, I've never been huge into the Resident Evil like franchise as well either. I'm not really into like the horror genre, and stuff. I mean, I did play the one on 3DS way back when, and didn't have like any huge exceptional time where I was like, oh wow, I gotta check out the rest of the series kind of take from it. But I understand they're all different games, and that was completely separate. But usually, it's when it's part of a series. Most of the time, it's usually follows along the same type of path, even if it's like different characters and different maps and locations and everything else.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do find it
I
weird that they talked about Wilds, but they still, in any of these showcases, they're not mentioning the Switch 2 version because
right.
they have confirmed it is coming to Switch 2, but nothing about the Switch 2 version here.
No. And now that I've got the chance to look at that word, it's Ascendance, by the way. But for whatever reason, it just didn't look like that's how you pronounced it when I kept looking at it a bit ago. But yeah, I need to get back into Monster Hunter Stories 3. I think I played it for about 5 minutes. That was about it. So yeah, I need to get back into
Yeah,
it
you
and
got a
check out
review
the
code.
DLC as well. Yeah. I need to play some more of it. Yeah, I the Resident Evil stuff is cool. I've only played, I think, 0, 1, and 4. I think over the years, I may have tried a different one at some point. I think I maybe have rented like 2 on GameCube or something like that at some point. And like, I like the modern version of it and everything like that. I'm probably not going to be getting these games, but it's really cool that a lot of them are coming to Switch too, and they look really good as well. They've been able to do a lot of cool things, and I do wish that I was around the Shibuya Beam in Tokyo, because interactive museum like special exhibits and stuff like that with Resident Evil kind of sound fun uh, to go and check it out. So that'd be kind of cool to see. But I am nowhere near Tokyo and not going to be anywhere near Tokyo for the rest of the year. But if you are and you go to either the exhibit or the concert, let us know how it goes. Let's move on to the next section of games from the Capcom Showcase. We've got Dragon's Dogma 2 Dark Arisen. This is a new expansion to the game with new story content, 12 new challenges, and more character editor options. And it's coming to Switch 2 as one deluxe package with a base game and the expansion on October 9th, 2026. There's also lots of other quality of life improvements that they've recently brought to the game, and more that are coming in an August update, and more updates on the way as well. And then Devil May Cry 5 is now available for Switch 2, including all the extra content, and they highlighted that. Street Fighter 6 is getting the Year 4 update very, very soon. It's going to be adding 4 new characters. Yasmin, and this is the first of the 4 characters, is going to be dropping on August 3rd. They're also going to get Tifa from Final Fantasy VII Remake series. Arjun and Bosch are going to be rounding out those 4 characters. Then the Capcom Pro Tour, the esports tournament, they highlighted that and said it's underway. This includes BAM and Evo and CEO and UFA and Evo France. And all those winners from that will be invited to join the Capcom Cup 13 World. The Capcom Cup World 13. And then World Warrior is also taking place. This is a global online tournament, and the Street Fighter League will be held in Japan, the Americas, and the EMEAA. Street Fighter movie trailer was also shown off, and the movie's going to be coming to theaters on October 16th, 2026. We also got to see Onimusha Way of the Sword. Gave an overview to this intense sword-based action game, and shared a first look at a new Genma, I think is how they're pronounced. These are the twisted enemy creatures in the game. Also highlighted that there's going to be a story mode for those that want an easier journey. So if you're not up to the challenge, you can take the easier story mode to get through the game. And while the game is coming to Switch 2 on September 25th, 2026, there's also going to be, there is now a demo available, but it's only for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. At least they did not say that it was going to be on Switch 2, but maybe eventually we're going to get one. Deluxe and Premium Deluxe versions were also shown off, which contain additional content like costumes and music, and the pre-order bonus was also shown off. And finally, they highlighted the Capcom digital sale, which includes big sales on Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, Street Fighter, Mega Man, Devil May Cry, Ace Attorney, Ghost Trick, and more games. So, Barry, anything stand out among these announcements?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago when Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, I think I put it in my worst top 3 of the year for the Game Awards that we do, because I wanted to like Dragon's Dogma 2 so much because I really, really loved the first one. And there were so many things that were just weird, like real money transactions and the teleporting around. There was no fast travel, so when you went on an adventure, you had to find your way back. There was equipment, it was weighted equipment that was giving things to my pawns all the time. Like, here, you carry this. I don't want to deal with this. So I was always encumbered. It, I feel like they steered away from what I really enjoyed about the first Dragon's Dogma. And what I've seen is that they've been doing a lot of quality of life improvements, and they highlighted some of that here. And one of them I noticed was free unlimited fast pass or fast travel. I'm like, finally, like, and they're removing the real money stuff, and they're doing a lot of the stuff that I wanted them to do, which makes me happy. So I might wind up giving the game a second chance on Switch too, and hopefully it has that redeeming factor, because I really loved the first game. I loved there was an anime on Netflix. The anime was really good. So I love the world. I think it's a really cool fantasy world, and I love that, like, the big creatures you can climb on top of and like attack them from the top, and it's a very much a single player game that you have the pawns that help you. You get one pawn that you like create, and that's your pawn. They're always with you, and then you could recruit 2 other pawns, and they don't level, but as you level, you can recruit higher level pawns, so you can customize your team the way you want it. And if they die, it's no big deal. They can rise back up. Really, really interesting concept. And then your pawn can, like, when it goes out, if other people recruit your pawn, they can come back and give you gifts. It's a really neat idea. So I probably will give it a second chance on Switch too, depending on what else is going on. Devil May Cry 5. I'm probably not going to replay it on Switch 2, but I played it on the PlayStation 5. It is fantastic. If you're a Bayonetta fan, you need to play it. If you're a Devil May Cry fan, you need to play it. Like, it's my favorite of the Devil May Cry games. It's just so good. Graphics wise, it's good. Gameplay wise, it's good. It's just a phenomenal game. Definitely give it love. Pro Tour, I'm not going to compete, so good luck to all people going for it. Street Fighter movie looks fun. I'll probably see it, maybe not in theaters, but I'll see it when it comes out in streaming. But it's good to see Street Fighter going back to the theaters. Onimusha Way of the Sword, I might be pre-ordering. I had a good time with the first game. I'll see how I do with the second game. This one looks good. So, and I've heard from Zev that the demo was really good. And I don't know why the demo's not on Switch. That kind of sucks, but maybe it'll come closer to its release. But I'll definitely be taking a look at that. And then the digital sale, if the game you want's on sale, go get it. I'm glad to see them putting some of these games on sale.
Yeah. Greg, any thoughts on these?
I think overall this spotlight didn't really hit anything that I looked at with Capcom, so it pretty much was mostly a pass on these. I did check out gameplay trailers for Dragon's Dogma 2 and the Devil May Cry and like the Onimusha Way of the Sword, and it just didn't really seem like those were kind of games that I would enjoy. Um, Same thing with what Barry said with the tour and the tournament thing. Just good luck to anyone that enters. It's not really for me. And then I've usually been more Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter, so I've not don't really play much Street Fighter really at all, but just really great for the fans to be able to see the get the new characters being added to the Street Fighter 6 and also the movie. The movie I may or may not check out, but probably like Barry might be more at home watch as opposed to going to the theater.
Nice. Yeah, Devil May Cry 5 is also on sale for like $30 right now. So if you haven't gotten it and you want to get it, I think the sale's through July. I think through July 2026, maybe close to the end of the month. So you get about a month to check that out. Definitely recommend getting the sale for $30 for that full game. Dragon's Dogma 2, I remember you talking about it, Barry. I remember you like not liking it, and so so like it's cool to see all these updates. The game looks fantastic. Like that's
Yeah,
what I was watching. I was like, man, this is really cool. And then getting into all the updates, and I was like, man, they spent a lot of time working out a lot of the kinks. So that's really cool. It may be enough to get me interested. Again, it's a matter of time. And so if it's did you play all the way through it, Barry?
no, I didn't. I
Okay.
got a good chunk in, probably put about 10 hours, and then
Okay.
it was like it got annoying,
Yeah.
like the fat lack of fast travel and the encumberment, and it like there was no quest markers, and like a lot of this stuff I was just, like stumbling my way through.
Yeah.
But I will say, if you are interested, the first game on Switch One routinely goes on sale digitally for $5 for the whole first game with the first expansion from Capcom.
Wow.
Anytime Capcom does a sale, they usually put that game down to $5. It's a steal for $5. It's a great game, and that's also a great way to test out if you like
Hmm.
the Dragon's Dogma world and like the feel for the game.
Good to know. Maybe I'll go that direction instead. Yeah. Street Fighter 6 looks great. I have not gotten into Street Fighter 6. But yeah, the new
So much fun.
characters are fun. Like I love that they're, bringing in from different franchises as well. So to have Tifa there, from Final Fantasy 7 was fun to see. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, that's cool. I'd not gotten into the recent ones, so I'm probably not going to get this one, but it's cool. And then I love that it's, I think, do we have all the those updates also coming to the Switch 2 version as well, I'm
Yeah,
guessing? Yeah, okay.
absolutely.
It just throws me off because like when they first announced it, it was just like the title of the game in the eShop and on the cartridge, the box was years 1 through 4. And so in my mind, I'm thinking we don't get the rest of the updates. And so I have to
That was
keep
year
telling
one and
myself that's
two when it
wrong,
launched.
or years 1 and 2. And so in
Was
my head, I keep
but
thinking that's only years 1 and 2, but
it
no,
is.
that's just a
Well, it
starting
is
point.
only years 1 and 2. You have to buy year 3 and year 4 on the eShop, but they are there.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
pre-order them or order them now.
Street Fighter movie, yeah, I'll probably watch it when it comes to streaming. I may go out in the theater. We'll see. But it is fun to see that they're going full on video game for this version of Street Fighter. So that'd be fun to see, kind of really over the top. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to check out the Capcom sale, and maybe Dragon's Dogma might be on there for $5 right now. Who knows? I'll have to check it out. Well, that wasn't all. We also had Evo happen over the last couple days. In fact, the Evo happened June 26th through the 28th, and this is the Evolution Championship Series, or again known as Evo for short. Long time big fighting game tournament. And we also got several announcements that happened during this year's fighting game tournament. So for over 20 years, Evo has brought the best players from around the world together, a huge weekend of competition. And this year's tournament was held June 26th through 28th in Las Vegas. And again, we got several announcements and trailers and videos shown off. So I'm going to run through those and then we'll discuss them. So Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. So Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is not the only game coming to Switch 2. Now we're getting Versus Rising that's coming to Switch 2 on September 17th. And this will have a save data tie-in to Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. So if you have the game, you'll have a save data tie-in. And then Rivals of Ether 2 is getting a brand new characters, Gui on August 4th, and Mina from Mina and the Hollower sometime in 2027. The Path of Warrior R, Art of Fighting 3 is getting 2 new characters, King and Ryu, or sorry, not Ryu, Yuri. I messed that all up. Yeah, Ryu's coming over there. Yuri is exclusive right here. 30 years after this game came out. They're finally getting some new characters. And then Dead or Alive 6's Last Round is getting a brand new character named Minato and arriving this summer. Blaze Blue Central Fiction, that new character that we talked about earlier, that new character is Trinity Glassfill, and that's coming 11 years after Blaze Blue Central Fiction originally came out. RoboKai is landing in Guilty Gear Strive this Thursday. Avatar Legends, the fighting game, will also have Iro, Tai Li, Lin Bifong, and Bolin join the roster via the first season pass. And the 5th character will actually depend on community votes. So you get to vote on who you want that 5th character to be. Under Night in Birth 2, Sis Celis will be getting a new character named Zohar by the end of the summer. We talked about that earlier. 2XKO revealed its 2 latest characters for the year, Lux and Samira. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves got a new character named Kinshiro. I think that's how you pronounce it. Tekken 8 is getting Bob in mid-August 2026. Marvel Token Fighting Souls revealed the 3 final characters of the game as Blade, Loki, and Deadpool. And finally, fighting Virtua Fighter Crossroads revealed a mysterious character named Bakanawa Killer. So, Barry, you into any of these games? Did any of these excite you?
This definitely proves that they don't technically need to make a Smash 6. They could just add on to Ultimate and just keep going, and I think that's the smarter way. You put more modes, put more characters into Ultimate, and we're seeing that with a lot of these games where why make a whole new game when there's already a fan base? Just keep adding to a game that already exists, and fighting games are perfect for it because they just keep adding roster and keep updating and stages. Grand Blue Fantasy, I'm excited for. I have it on PS4. I never played it, and after I beat Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, I was like, oh, maybe I should play the PS4 fighting game, and I just never got around to it. Now it's great because I'll play it on Switch too and check it out, and it's a really cool world, and I love the art style. Rivals of Aether is one of those that I have the first game on Switch, and it looks cool, and I just never played it. And Rivals of Aether 2 is currently PC exclusive, but they're talking about consoles coming next year. So a console port is coming next year, so I hope it comes to Switch. I don't see why it wouldn't with the first one being there. Art of Fighting 3 getting 2 new characters 30 years after its release, I think is hilarious. Like, that's great. That's, SNK being SNK. Same with Dead or Alive 6. If I remember right, that was on the Vita. That game's been around for a while. Maybe that was 5. BlazBlue, Central Fiction, we already talked about. Guilty Gear, again, we talked about. Now Avatar Legends. I have to promote Avatar Legends. I'm a little involved since PM Studios we are publishing the game both digitally and physically. So it was great to see it on stage. Great to see the love and support that people have been giving the game. Definitely check it out. I'm excited for the season pass. I love that we're doing the voting for the 5th character. I'm hoping that it's successful, that we keep doing more season passes and adding on. It's a big franchise, a big IP with Avatar, and we're honored to be bringing this out to everybody. So check it out. I played the game already. I can tell you it's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. Definitely check this out. And of course, we had it at Summer Game Fest to check out too. So a lot of people played it. Under Night in Birth, Rebirth, Under Night in Birth 2. There we go. I can't speak. We've already talked about. So I'm excited to see that. Tekken 8 getting more characters. That game I played through as Clive. I had a lot of fun with it. I had to delete it because it was like 120 or 130 gigabytes on my PS5, and I just couldn't justify that much space. That's ridiculous. So I don't know if the game will ever come to Switch 2. I think Switch 2 can handle it. But size is going to be really like they would have to shrink that down, man. I tell you that. I don't know what they were doing with the coding, but that needs to be shrunk. We talked about Marvel already and Virtual Fighting Crossroads. I hope this comes to Switch or Switch 2. Virtual Fighter 5 just recently came to Switch 2. So, maybe they using that as a test, see like if people are interested or not. But it's always funny to see, Sega putting their IP on Nintendo after all these years. It still brings a smile to my heart. So I hope we see Virtual Fighter continue on the Switch too.
Yeah. Greg, I know you're not a big fighting game fan, but did anything stand out to you?
Not particularly, but I guess for the game where we can vote in character, I guess it's time to bring a Fire Emblem over there so they could feel our wrath from Smash Brothers. So it's time to vote like
Oh, no,
Martha,
it's
Roy,
not a
or
write-in. It's not a write-in. There's a series of characters to choose from.
Oh man.
man.
Maybe Ryu is gonna jump in that game. I don't know
He has a
why I said
probably much
Ryu
better
instead
shot
of
than like
Ryu.
anyone else from Smash Brothers, but
Yeah.
maybe Snake or something, but it wouldn't be
Bring over Snake,
none of the
yes.
Nintendo IPs.
Oh man, yeah. Maybe Link. They did that in shoot, what was
Soul
the
Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur? Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I've already kind of talked about my fighting game like experience. Like I enjoy fighting games, but fighting games I think are in the same category almost as first person shooters for me nowadays. Like I really do enjoy playing them, but I'm nowhere near good enough to play against other people. And so like if they have a good storyline, then I might play through a storyline of a fighting game. But something that keeps me coming back over and over and over and over and over again would be the multiplayer if I was good at it. I'm not, and so it's cool that this stuff's coming out. I agree with you, Barry. I think Nintendo probably should just slide into this evergreen game with Smash Ultimate and just keep bringing new characters, add some new things over time. Clearly, fighting game fans are okay with that. I mean, we got 30-year-old
Yep.
games, 11-year-old games that just keep adding new stuff over the time, and nobody's upset at all. This is all exciting for them. And so I think Smash
Yeah.
fans would probably be very similar.
No one's saying like why not a new Art of Fighting? They're like, oh, you know what? That's cool. It's getting updated because it's been a dead IP. And I think overall, if you polled people, and I could be wrong, people always surprise me, but I think if you polled people and said, do you want Smash Ultimate with like say 20 new characters from both Nintendo and third parties, um, all together with maybe a new single player mode added on to Ultimate, or would you rather Smash 6 with a smaller roster and a new single player mode? I don't know who would say yes. You know what? Let's have a smaller roster with
Yeah.
less characters. Like and in order for them to do everybody's here, they have to get the rights. So
Yep.
whatever they negotiated for Sora, for example, they would have to probably renegotiate. Maybe Disney will say, "Oh, we saw the reception, we want more money," and Nintendo would be like, "Well, we're not going to pay more money at that point." Who knows? Maybe they're just goodwill. Like, you know what? Let's just do it. Whatever. But it'll
Yep.
be interesting to see how they handle it.
Mhm.
And that's what's on screen now. I wish the Invincible fighting game was coming to Switch too, because I'm a big Invincible fan, and it looks so good.
Yeah. I wish I do hope that Smash does go that direction. I see why they went in a different direction with Mario Kart. That kind of makes sense because it's a different type of game. But Smash, like the basic idea of the game doesn't change from iteration to iteration. And so give us Smash Ultimate, but add an expansion pass, like expansion pack to it.
Yep.
Like just say like, hey, here's a new mode and a few new characters, same basic idea, enhance the thing for Switch 2 and put it out, everybody's going to be happy. So that'd be great in my opinion. Greg, any
Yeah.
thoughts around that?
Yeah, I'm fully on board with that for Smash Brothers, and I don't know. After seeing what they did with Mario Kart World, I almost kind of wish that Mario Kart went down that wrote. But you
Yeah,
could just
I
like
kind of
add
do
new
too.
tracks. I mean, but I mean, I do think that they did expand some things well in World, like with like the trick system and riding on rails and the walls and stuff. But like, to be honest, for like Mario Kart, that's pretty much all you really need is just like new courses and like that's about it. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You don't need to have them like all these different gimmicks and everything else. Like I think it's just easy to go. Just like here's brand new courses. Here's more of the courses from the past, and just have like a Mario Kart Ultimate. Like it would be pretty easy for
I
in
I
my eyes.
think I think if they made Mario Kart World the evergreen title and then like left it as it is, but they added every track that was included in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and the Booster Pass as additional tracks. And they also, one thing I think they should do, because it worked, is there's always the courses in forward and reverse. Add in the trick courses forward and reverse from
Mhm.
Tour, where it changes up each course significantly, and that doubles or quadruples the amount of courses you have with very, very little effort done. And a lot of those courses already exist from Tour with the tricks, and they can literally just copy them over. It's copy and paste, easy work. A lot of they did that already with the Tour tracks. Why not? You have the stuff, add it all into one game, and add more characters instead of more costumes. Like give us characters like Diddy and Dixie. Like what the heck?
There you go. Yeah. Millennium Falcon's in the chat and agreeing with us as well. New Smash Ultimate with new fighters. Of course, Nintendo made more than $1 billion in the Mario movie. They definitely have the loot to pay for a new roster. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Let's move on to our final showcase or event or whatever you want to call it that happened just this morning. The Splatoon Raiders had a direct, and Splatoon Raiders direct happened again just this morning on June 30th. Following was a Treehouse Live. I didn't get a chance to watch the Treehouse Live, but I did watch the 15-minute presentation for the Splatoon Direct. I want to run through some of the announcements that they had on there. If you want to check out the full list of announcements, you can head to NintendoFuse.com. We've got the full list there. But again, they jumped into it with the research lab that they usually have, when they go to the Splatoon directs, and they highlighted treasure hunting. So there's an emergency landing strands you on this island called Sparrowlight Islands. It's a collection of islands, and you're treasure hunting on these different islands. You have an exploration bot that will seek out the treasure for you, and then there's these aggressive creatures called salmonids. I think is how you pronounce them. Salmonids. And you defeat them, and the treasure is yours. In terms of salmonids, there's lesser salmonids, whether they're small ones, the enemies. There's boss salmonids, and then there's also giant boss salmonids called seasoned salmonids, and they're covered in salt. So they hinted that the saltier they are, the more powerful they are. In terms of weapons, they're going to be similar to other Splatoon games with over 100 different weapons. And the Salmonids will also drop weapons sometimes. Weapons are going to have different levels, and rare weapons will also come with special powers. You're also going to be able to get gadgets, and these are powerful devices that you can equip up to 2 at a time to help you defeat the salmonids. You can attach gadgets to your tank, and so there's 3 different types of tanks. There's speed tanks, power tanks, and tactical tanks. And the gadgets will attach to a specific type of tank. So some of them will only be power, some of them only speed, and some only tactical. And then you can also customize those gadgets as you collect gadget parts and then equip them to your gadget slots to upgrade those different gadgets, and allows you to customize all the different gadgets. Lots of different choices around there. As far as stages go, each location has its own specific design and zones that lock you to specific gadgets that you can use and things like that. And you're also as you're getting stronger and play, you'll be getting stronger as you play through the game. So if you fail a raid, you'll actually still keep your experience points, which is cool. So you don't lose everything. And you can also add different facilities to your hideout to increase your abilities, your tanks, and more. You'll have a gadget workshop that allows you to craft new gadgets. You can upgrade weapons or turn them into more materials. Big Man will also be there to categorize things in between your treasure hunts. And in terms of additional features, there's going to be new outfits that be collected as you play or tap the Splatoon amiibo. You can change the difficulty at any time to change the power of the salmonids, but your loot stays the same. So it's just the different power level of your enemies that will change in the difficulty settings. Up to 4 players can actually journey together in this game, local or online. So it is we've been told it was a single player game, but now it is a co-op game. So you can travel together and journey together up to 4 players at a time. And then also you can help. There's a help feature within the game as well. So if you get stuck within the game and you don't have any friends that you can call on, you can actually throw out a help signal, and random people will see that online and help you for a limited time within the game. And if you end up helping other people, you're going to get rewards. So there's a little incentive to helping random people who are calling out for help online. There's also Salmonid relics that give you additional powers and abilities that you'll collect along the way, and many places to discover and explore. And they even talked about some areas will seem bottomless. So Barry, I know you're already all about this game. You probably already got it pre-ordered. You're gonna make it happen. But anything stand out from this set of announcements?
I wasn't actually planning on watching this direct
I
because
just
I was
spoiled
already
everything.
sold.
Sorry.
No. I said I wasn't planning. But then I was like, you know what? It's 15 minutes. Let me turn it on. And I'm really glad I did because I was already sold on the game. This sold it on me more. Like I am even more excited for this game now because I wasn't sure how in depth it was, and it's really in depth. And it sounds great. And I love games where you level up and get stronger. Yes, it's kind of like roguelike, but I don't mind roguelike games. I don't like roguelike games when you don't feel like you're making any progress. But ones where you go and if you die, you keep the experience, you keep what you find, and it allows you to be stronger to keep going. Those ones I do like because then I feel like I'm actually making progress as opposed to throwing my head against the wall. This has that progress meter, and I am all for it. It looks great. I love the gadgets. I love the 3 different packs, and you could equip the different gadgets on the packs. And as you upgrade the packs, they can get even more gadgets. I love the customization on the Like, there's just so much to this game. I love passive. I'm a big fan of passive abilities, and it looks like the facilities will give passives, and the relics will give passives. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is speaking my language. I might get addicted. But yeah, no, I'm happy. I think it'll be fun to like do this multiplayer with friends. I love the idea of just people coming to help you. Like, it kind of reminds me of when playing Mario Wonder when that first came out, and even Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition when that came out. And people would be able to help you, and like you die your little ghost, and you could hit the little standees. Like, that was so much fun. And I love that. And there is times when you're playing a single player game where it's like, oh, this is a challenging level. I wish I had some help. And it very much reminds me kind of like Dark Souls. I hate to say it, but that's one of the things or Elden Ring does that too, where you could have people from other worlds help you, and cool. If people are playing it, then I'm all for it. So I'm really excited about this game. I'm more excited now after this direct. I did not watch the Treehouse. I just watched the direct. But yeah, I've seen enough. I'm more than good for this to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the sorry, I was making probably facial expressions when I think about the help thing on Mario Wonder, only because like the standees and all that stuff is fine. I hate seeing the other players on the screen when they're making their runs through it because it throws me off every time.
Oh, I
I start
loved it
looking at
because it
them.
made me feel like I wasn't alone.
Yeah, but I start
Like,
looking at them and I'll
especially,
jump off a ledge or something.
well, that's when their standees will save you, and they'll
That's
be
very
glad they're
true.
there.
That's very true. Greg, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I was initially more sold on it originally as I really did like the Splatoon like 1 and 2 for like the solo like one player modes, but I don't know, this seems like it's a lot more complex than what I was thinking that they were going with this. So I was a little bit more on the fence than I was previously, but
Hmm.
I never really heard of that looter shooter type thing that they are talking about in the chat, so I don't know if like that maybe that's just not my style for shooter, but I don't know. It wasn't really something that made me like feel like I wanted the game a lot more, unless it's just something that I don't understand. Like I don't know for sure, but
Looter shooter
yeah,
means more like you go to a level. It's almost like Diablo if you ever played that, which is a looting RPG
I
where
didn't play
the whole
that.
point is you go in and you kill enemies to get loot and to make yourself better, and it's always like randomized and it's always random, so you're not going to get the same piece twice, and it's very very much not static. So you go to a level and the idea is, hey, while I'm here, maybe I'll pick up a better armor or a better leg piece armor or a better gadget, and you never know. Every level you never know what you're going to get, so it's always that surprise when you're going to get something good, and anything that sucks you kind of just turn into scrap and use that scrap to buy what you want, and it's this constant uh drive forward to try and get better gear and to improve yourself, and that's where the looter shooter comes from. It's just about,
Uh,
instead of like a standard RPG where, oh, bronze plate gives me 5 defense and then I get the silver plate that gives me 10 defense. Yay. These have more abilities, more stats, and there's maybe silver plate with this and silver plate with that. And then you get, instead of just a standard silver plate, there's 100 different things that could be added to that silver plate, and you try and get the best you can get as you move forward. And that's what keeps people coming back.
God, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really seem to super excite me. Just the repetition, and I know my luck with these like drop rates things has been horrendous. I remember playing Final Fantasy 2 on Super Nintendo, and there was like one particular monster you can get like one incredibly rare like legendary weapon on like in the last like level, and I tried it for over an hour and I never got it. And like I'm not usually one to like go hunting down like shiny Pokemon and stuff either, so I don't see that this really fits my kinda cup of tea. But
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe if they do I don't know if they have a demo for it or not, but maybe that might change my tune, but it almost doesn't sound like it would be up my alley.
Hmm. That's interesting. Yeah. I'll go to the chat in just a second, but it's just funny because I actually felt the opposite way of you, Greg. I was not interested in it at all. And at the beginning of the direct, I go, this is going to be boring. And by the end of the direct, I'm like, I'm kind of interested in this game now. So I had the opposite experience. Looking at the chat though, looks like let me scroll back here. Hiawatha is in our chat. Hello to you. And had Splatoon Raiders on my wish list. I was planning on waiting until I finished campaigns from Splatoon 2 and 3 before moving on to Raiders. However, watching the direct, I think the mind has changed. So that's cool. And also want to purchase Splatoon Raiders for myself and my kids and play it together. Being able to change the difficulty without affecting the loot and experience makes a significant difference. I agree. That was actually kind of a
Yes.
cool surprise to hear. That's fun.
Yeah, I'll be playing on tourist. No surprise. It's not that I can't play it in more difficulty, but my job is to just have fun,
Yeah.
and relax and play as much as I can before the next game comes out that I want to play. Because September is going to be crazy, and so is August.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Millennium Falcon asks Splatoon 2 Switch 2 only. Yes, it is Splatoon Raiders Switch 2 only. Let me get that correct. Splatoon Raiders is Switch 2 only and it's coming out July 23rd, I believe. And yeah, I think the cooperative play was finally the thing that turned it for me. That I was like, okay, this could be fun actually to go on raids together. Because doing a single player, I was like, I got bored with the single player in Splatoon 1. I think I barely played the single player in Splatoon 2. And so
Oh,
having a
really?
single
I
player
loved the single player.
Splatoon game for me was like, meh, I enjoyed the multiplayer more. But I do really love the idea. Like I've not played a ton of games where it's cooperative raids and doing that kind of thing, but the idea has always intrigued me. And I was like, oh man, another game that I can go on, if we have friends and we go and do raids together, that sounds really exciting. So if I end up
Well,
getting
if
it,
you get
Barry,
it, we'll have to
we
do
have to
some
do some
raids.
raids. Yep. So maybe we'll convince Greg to jump in with us.
Yeah.
I think think this will be a lot of fun with friends to play and doing those raids. And like a lot of people will be like, the first few days will be like level up. Like my job is to try and get as strong as possible so that I'm not the one bringing my friends down, and then just everyone be able to help out. And I don't I think this is going to be one of those games that, and I didn't originally, but I do think this is one of those games that could hook me, and it could become an almost obsession where it's like I just want to one more run. I got to go to this place one more time. I need to get a few more of the orbs to level up and up my damage. And I love how they showed the gadgets, how each gadget can also be you get different equipment. It's like it showed like the boomerang, but you also have the twin boomerangs, and you can make it deal more damage or make it go farther, or both if you have enough points. And that level of customization is very similar to Adventures of Elliot. Has the very same thing with the Magicite system in Adventures of Elliot, and it also has, you could have multiple boomerangs or multiple bombs and stuff like that. So it's pretty much the Adventures of Elliot Magicite system, but put into Splatoon with different gadgets. So if you enjoyed the Magicite system in Adventures of Elliot, Greg, then you'll probably like this because it's there too.
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of reminds me of like the badge system in Mario Wonder, but not nearly to that degree because a lot of
Yeah.
it is platforming. But yeah, the Magicite system I'm still kind of getting used to, and right now I'm just having the game recommend ones that I've picked up, and I've tried to craft them when I can. But haven't really noticed a terrible ton, and I also haven't really gotten like those legendary ones yet. But I imagine would really break the game to get them that early on, though.
Yeah.
I got them early. I literally would just buy them, and if I didn't get any 5 stars, I just reloaded, and I just did that in the demo, and I wound up with 2 5 stars before
That's
the game
hilarious.
came out. It took me a while, but I did it. It was like 0.02 chance. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna hit that. I'm gonna do it.
Millennium Falcon's asking if we covered the news about the Bungie layoffs. We hit it briefly, talked about there's more layoffs. I feel like every time we turn around, there's people getting laid off, unfortunately. And then
Xbox is about to be gutted.
Jakester's upset with me. Go figure. Says the single player part is the best part of Splatoon games. I don't know about that. They really
I
touted
agree.
this as a
They're great.
multiplayer shooter, and I bought into it and played a ton of multiplayer on Splatoon 1 and really enjoyed it, and played maybe I don't think I actually finished it. I think I played most of the single player, but I didn't finish it, and I barely touched it in Splatoon 2.
You have to figure out in Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, it's more of a platformer. It's a shooter platformer, which is really cool because it's got the Nintendo level design and charm. So Splatoon 3 is even like incredible.
That's good. I just got bored with it, I think was the big thing. I was like, meh, this isn't exciting me for whatever reason. But I know other people enjoy it, so it's just, preference thing.
Yeah, I know
I
Splatoon
also
1
think
was
this
more of
game
like an afterthought for like they added the first person mode after the initial feedback from the reveal.
That is
So I
true,
know that
yeah.
was more of an afterthought, but I know like the second one they definitely flushed it out and did that. But I mean, I did
That's a good
enjoy
point.
the single players on 1 and 2.
I enjoyed them in all 3 of them. But I do kind of feel like they're working on a Splatoon 4, a proper Splatoon 4. And this may have even been in development for the Switch 1, and they're like, no, let's move it to Switch 2, and as like an extra, like, because Splatoon 4 isn't ready yet, and like it's like almost like a stopgap. But I feel like this is going to take over more, and I think this might be something special and definitely enhance when Splatoon 4 comes out, because I think this is going to get a lot of new fans that didn't play the earlier Splatoons.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of our main discussion. We got a couple more things to talk about before we wrap up this episode. But I just want to say thank you guys again for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please be sure to do that. Share this with others that you know. Join us on social media. Join our Discord. All those different things. And also, if you feel so inclined, join our brand new Patreon that we just launched today. Again, that link is patreon.com/CW/NintendoFuse if you would like to support this podcast and what we do here at Nintendo Fuse. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for it, and so it is finally here. We still would love feedback from you guys, so let us know at podcast@nintendofuse.com. But hopefully you guys will enjoy it. And if you again, feel so led to support this podcast and everything that we do, be sure to head over to our brand new Patreon. Upcoming games, we've got lots of games coming out. I think we are now past the point where we are like, this game's coming out, but no one really cares. We're going to work on a backlog. That's probably not going to be the case. Maybe for the rest of this year. I think that is behind us, especially after all these games that were announced over all these different showcases and the Nintendo Directs and all those different things. I think one of the coolest things from all these different showcases from this episode that we talked about, last episode, the episode before that, is that we're now into the second year of the Switch and or Switch 2. And it seems like things are starting to happen. Like other games are being ported over and new games are going to Switch 2. And now we're getting Switch 2 editions like crazy. Like all these different Switch 2 editions are happening and everything too. So it's an exciting time. And it kind of a lot of people are excited about the Switch 2. Us three are that. But I still do see people online, and granted, I know people are weird online. There are going to be people online that just don't make any sense anyway. But I don't get the fact that people are like, Switch 2 is not worth it, blah, blah, blah. Man, it's getting better and better every day. And we've just now started the second year of the Switch 2. So before we jump into upcoming games and talk about those things, quick thoughts, review of the Switch 2 first year, thoughts about the second year. What do you think, Barry?
So let me preface this with I love my Switch 2. I play my Switch 2 pretty much every day, and it's become my platform of choice. And even games that are on multi-platform, like if the Switch 1 version and PlayStation 5 version, a lot of times while I get them both, I'd play the PlayStation 5 version because it was a significant jump. Now with PS5 and Switch 2, that jump isn't as much, and a lot of times I'm like, you know what, just for the convenience. And there's a lot of games this year that I would have played on PS5 that I played on Switch 2, like Trails Through the Beyond earlier this year, Pragmata I did Switch 2. Even Octopath Traveler 0, actually, you could put more buildings in your town on the PS5 versus the Switch 2 version, and I still played the Switch 2 version. Adventures of Elliot. But I'm just really enjoying the Switch 2. I'm not one that sees frame rates like other people. I can just enjoy 30 frames per second, doesn't bother me. So I'm just happy with the ecosystem and the environment, and just the ability to, like, my son's gonna get a Switch and I'll be able to like toss these games to him and he'll be able to enjoy them. And um, that's not perfect, but I love it. Now, I do think that overall, we discussed this, the launch year, like at least the first 6 months, 2025, was a weaker overall year for the Switch 2, even though it was a launch year. Mario Kart World didn't hit a lot of our expectations and a lot of people's expectations. Donkey Kong was fantastic. I loved Kirby, but it did get overshadowed by other racing games, including Mario Kart World. I love Hyrule Warriors, but it's not for everybody. Metroid Prime 4 didn't hit with everybody. It did with me, but not everybody. Pokemon Legends got crucified with the graphics and the balconies, but again, I love the game, so whatever. And I think Nintendo saw that, and I think Nintendo said, what we need to do is we need to hit the casual audience. We need that lightning in a bottle. We need to pull that in because the hardcores are already buying the system. They're going to be fine no matter what. Third party is stepping up, and that's the biggest thing. Third party stepped up huge this year. My God, the Nintendo Switch 2's third party is fantastic. And Nintendo has taken 2026 and they've unofficially dubbed it the casual year, as far as I'm concerned. They're going for that casual crowd. And if you look at the releases this year, probably 80 to 90% of them hit either the casual audience or the general audience. You have Animal Crossing getting Switch 2. You have in the update. You had Mario Tennis Fever is a more casual game. Rhythm Heaven, even on Switch 1. Tamagotchi Life. Pokemon Pokopia. Splatoon Raiders. Splatoon is more of their evergreen title, and this is more single player, more welcoming. Come in, Star Fox. While hardcore is also an arcadey game, it's like come in, give it a shot. We added the easy mode. Like you can see them doing this year. Nintendo Switch Sports. Like, hey, let's try to get the Wii Sports audience. And I feel like it's working in that market. And I think it's going to be good to set up 2027 for more hardcore. And then, of course, you have Ocarina of Time, for many the greatest game of all time. That's a big pull for bringing in. You don't see as much hardcore Fire Emblem. Yoshi's even a more casual experience this year. Nothing bad with that, but it's definitely this is a more casual year. And I think for the hardcore, I want that big stuff. You're going to see it in the second half of year 2 and into year 3. Of course, Xenoblade Genesis is already coming. That fits that bill for next year. I do think, however, the game key card situation has hurt, and has hurt significantly because it has turned the collecting audience into saying either I'm not buying it or I'm going to buy it digital. And what that happens with that is third parties start seeing diminished sales in the physical space. The other thing Nintendo did at the launch, which was bad, was one size game cards. They only had the 64 gigabyte. So for smaller studios putting out small games, it made it impossible for them to even remotely think about turning a profit if they had to buy that bigger card. So that's where game key cards or digital only come into play. That hurt them too. They've rectified that, but the damage has been done in the collector community. The damage has been done for developers to not even want to bother. That's why you see a lot of developers like Square and Sega we're just staying with the game key cards, whatever. It's as cheap and easy as we can get it. We don't care about spending the little extra. And it's really taking its toll. And the fact that these cards are more expensive than the Switch 1 cards means that third-party developers who are doing the physical are seeing less of a profit. So not only are sales down overall, you're seeing this because people are just burnt out. They're like, all right, whatever. Like, if it's a game key card, I might as well get digital. I might as well go all digital at this point. Even Nintendo's like, if you go digital, we're going to give you $10 off. Yes, I know Walmart and Best Buy and VGP and a lot of other companies are doing the digital price for a pre-order, and that's very respectable and commendable. But still, it's one of those things where it sets a precedence, and you're seeing that. So if you're selling 5,000 units on a Switch 1 game, you were making, let's say, $10, $12 a game, which was great, but now you're making $6, $7. And with everything else getting more expensive, you're now making less on the game. It's hurting third parties. And that's one thing Nintendo does not want to do, is hurt third parties. So there's a lot of good this year. Nintendo did a lot of good. They sold a lot of units. The third party support is very commendable and better than we've seen since the Super Nintendo days, as far as I'm concerned. But there's also a lot of negatives, and that can be rectified if it happens. So we'll see what Nintendo does. It was a good first year. Was it as good of a first year as the Switch 1? No, I can't say that, because the Switch 1 had, Breath of the Wild, which was a Wii U game, had a bunch of good Wii U ports like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Xenoblade 2 was year 1. Mario Odyssey was year 1. A lot of people have been waiting for 3D Mario. I saw someone comment on Facebook, I watched the Splatoon Direct and was patiently waiting for a hidden 3D Mario announcement, and it never came. And I'm like, what's wrong with you people? Like, people want that. Like, it's weird that Nintendo, especially with the movie, has not done anything or announced anything or pushed anything for a 3D Mario. Maybe in the September Direct, but I guess we'll see. And I think the Switch 2 is just starting. It's a good start. I'd say overall I'd give it a B. Even though I love the system and everything, I think overall it's a B. But I don't see it going in a negative direction. I see it only climbing. And I think year 2 can move to an A. And I think from year 3 onwards, I think we can stay in an A+. And it really depends on how they course correct the physical, how they market that, how they market units. There's supposedly a new model with a better LCD that's coming out that's been supposedly leaked. We'll see what that's about. And the library, the Nintendo, I think we're going to see more Switch 2 editions. Oh, another one, Fitness Boxing 3 from Nintendo is getting a Switch 2. Again, another casual game. Um, I think going forward we're going to see more of the hardcore with some casual, but I think next year is when the hardcore gets back on board even more so. Just my prediction. We'll see.
Yeah. And again, it is cool to see, like, I just think, all these different showcases. I mean, there's frequently games that are like, oh, also coming to Switch 2, or we're bringing a Switch 2 edition, we're bringing those over. So that's cool that we're getting a lot of these games, and there becomes a lot more third party support. Also interesting to note that seems like the key card has now affected other systems, and including Grand Theft Auto. So
And you know
lots of
what?
people upset
Grand Theft
about that.
Auto sold like 40 billion pre-orders on the first day or something like that. And the first day,
Yep.
which tells Rockstar we don't need to bother with a physical. People will buy it anyways. What's the point? And other companies are looking at that and going, why should and keep in mind, PlayStation and Xbox discs are cheap. They are cheap. They're cheap. They're like $1 a piece. The Switch 2 gig cards for $8 a piece. The Switch 2 physicals, even the smallest, is in the teens. Okay, so from a profit value, $1 versus teens, let's say $15 or whatever. I don't know the exact cost. That's say in this example, it's $14 difference.
Yep.
Does the company want to own yeah, look, then the key cards are cheaper. That's why they're doing it. They're doing it because they feel an obligation to do it. Like, okay, sure, we'll put something on your shelf, but they want to make more money. And if sales are down, they need to recoup that somehow. Thus, we have the situation we're in. So that's actually the medium too. If it was discs, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. Greg, what's your thoughts on Switch Year 2?
Year
Like
one,
Barry, I
year
thought
two
like the
just started.
first half of the year two was just starting, but the first half of year one, it was definitely a lot slower than I was kind of expecting. But I'm really glad to really see like both the indie scene and the third parties really step it up, because I feel like at that point on the Wii U, they were just like, "Oh, we're done," and then they all checked out. Then we had like these game droughts of like 0 games being released at a time. So definitely happy that all of that is there, and that they're quality third party games. Like I'm really getting into a lot more of them over the last like few months here. So as I'm patiently waiting for that 3D Mario game, that doesn't feel like it's coming at this point, but um, obviously it is. I'm just being funny, but yeah, until we get more stronger, the heavy hitters of the first Nintendo first party games, then it's like it's doing in a pretty good spot right now with a lot of the good third party games that are able to keep the gap filled along with all the indie games too. But I definitely think it's just gonna go up from here, as Barry was saying as well too. I mean, we should get like whatever Legend of Zelda, potentially Smash Brothers, the 3D Mario. I mean, that's all down the pipeline. Those are likely coming. Probably not even year two, but at least like 3 or 4. So it should be still getting up from here and still eating pretty good like we did on the original Switch. So it's lots of games to play, plenty of backlog games to jump into, and it's just been quite a fun time with it.
Yep. Let's move into the upcoming games. As always, we'll be scrolling these on the screen, compliments of Metacritic's list. If you're watching the video version, you'll see those coming up. So some of the games to highlight are July 1st, we're getting Pinball Effects is getting the Williams Pinball Anthology Volumes 1 and 2 are going to be available. On July 2nd, Rhythm Heaven Groove is coming out. On July 9th, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok is coming to Switch 2. Also, we're getting Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX 1+2 Dual Collection. One of those gigantically named games. And then on July 10th, we're getting Digimon Storytime Stranger. So, Barry, any of these games exciting you, or anything else that stands out to you over the next couple weeks? What are you been playing?
Absolutely, yeah. I plan to be starting Onimusha 2 to check that out. And Rhythm Heaven Groove, I've already got pre-ordered and downloaded, ready to go. It's going to be one of those games that I look forward to playing and I play, but I don't know if I'll like die hard into it or I'll play like a little bit every day kind of deal. Like, oh, because it might get a little tedious. Play a few mini games and be like, all right, I'm ready for something else. So I might play a little bit each day, but I am looking forward to it. And my goal is to finish it as well as Onimusha 2 before the 9th because Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is coming out, and I'm planning to put everything into that until, for the most part, until Splatoon. That's at least my goal on top of everything else. Luminous Avenger Ix. I believe it's instead of IX, it's
Ix.
Ix because
Okay.
it's a character name Ix. I'm also going to be grabbing that and I'll probably eventually replay them. I love those games. I, I played them both when they came out on the Switch, and there's a third one coming, which is cool. So I love to see that they're getting enhanced versions like the Gunvolt games did. And if you're a fan of Mega Man and you haven't played these games, you really need to. Both the Gunvolt and Luminous Avenger, which are all part of the same series. This is from the same team that did Mega Man Zero and Mega Man ZX. Inti creates. So if you're a fan of those games, then and you haven't played them, play them for sure. But that's my main goal for playing.
Nice. How about you, Greg?
It'll probably just be more Adventures of Elliot, and then also checking out Star Fox finally, because I know we want to try to see if like the three of us and Jigster could get a game in. It'd be kind of cool to see the Avatar things in place as well too. So it's probably gonna be mostly those two, and see if I need a. I don't know if I'll get through both of them before like the next podcast. Most likely not, but we'll have to see from there.
Jake says he's been playing Monster Rancher 1 DX, enjoying it. Will continue, and about to get 3/4 of Dragon Quest 2 remake. I'm guessing that's what DQ2 stands for. And just started Epic Mickey Rebrushed. And his Walmart told him they had tons of GKC from year one. No one's buying them.
Game
Interesting.
key cards.
Ah,
Game key
game key
cards
cards.
is
That's what those
seriously.
are. Yeah, yeah. Any of the cartridges, the boxes that I see still on the shelf, they're almost all game key cards. Yeah, I'll be. I'm looking forward to Grand Blue Fantasy, Relink, Endless Ragnarok as well. I think as far as like the upcoming games, like new games over the next couple weeks, that's really the one that I'm looking into, looking excited to play. But yeah, none of the other ones really stand out. I need to get back into like I downloaded like all the pinball effects and all those different pinball games and made sure I had all
Same.
of them on my end because I know they're delisting some of the old ones and all that stuff, and so I'm trying to like get all that. But but yeah, I haven't actually like jumped in and played them recently. I love that they're there. The Williams anthology is going to be great because there's some classic games, so that'd be cool to
Oh
see.
yeah.
But I don't know if I'll get them, but it's cool to see they're coming.
If you don't have all of them already, the Pinball FX, they have some tables on sale right now, including for the first time the Bethesda pack, which
Yeah,
has the 3 Bethesda tables finally on sale.
cool. But yeah, I'm gonna actually be traveling quite a bit throughout July, and so there's going to be some times for games and a lot of times that I will not be getting to game very much. So we'll see. I'm going to probably dive into some of these demos as well that I haven't played recently. Play some more Star Fox because that's just always going to be fun. But yeah, I think probably as far as like the bigger game, I'm kind of going back and forth between Adventures of Elliot and Grand Blue. I'll probably end up landing on Grand Blue, and then I can always go back to Elliot at some point in the future. The cool thing is with Elliot is it's just a single player game, so I can always play that at some point if I have time. But Grand Blue is like I'd love to be able to play with other people, and so
Hmm.
that's the difference between the two games. Like I can shelve Elliot and not really like miss out, but it'd be fun to actually play Grand Blue with other people.
It'll be easier when there's actually people doing the quests as opposed to doing it with just the bots.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially, and that's what one of the things in the interview that I had with the developers, they're really excited about having brand new players come in and then pairing with experienced players to kind of learn everything. And that's what I'm excited about too. Is like, even, if we get a chance to play together, like you've played it significantly more than I have. And so being able to go, Barry, what do I do actually here? And learning the ropes, playing with some
It's
veteran
been
players.
years. It's been years since I played it when it came out on the
You got
PS5.
more time than I do. I got about, I think they gave me about 30 to 40 minutes with the game. And that's about it.
That's about as much as I played the demo.
There you go. Well, we're coming to the end of this episode. We just want to thank you guys again for joining us in the live chat. We had several of you guys in the live chat this time, between Jakester, Millennium Falcon, and Jim, and Hiawatha was in there, said hi. So if you've never said hi, you just kind of maybe lurking the whole time, please be sure to say hi. We'd love to be able to say hi to you guys and engage with us as we're talking throughout the entire episode. We go live every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time on streaming, usually on at least YouTube and a lot of times Twitch as well. We'd love to have you guys there. July 14th is going to be our next episode. I will be out for the month of July. So Barry and Greg are on their own for July. I've got lots of things going, as I alluded to earlier. But July 14th will be our next episode. Hope to see you guys there, or well, they hope to see you guys there. I will watch after the fact, and maybe then I'll see you in the chat. But yeah, Barry, any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
Yeah, just I want to talk about this briefly. It's been a crazy week or 2 weeks because not only did I have my in-laws in, but something happened that scared me that I never even factored in my thought process of possibly happening. And that was a couple days ago, mid last week. My wife took her nap that she usually does before picking up our son, and she had her alarm set. Her alarm goes off, whatever. And she turned her alarm off, and she's like, "Oh, my phone is hot." I'm like, "Your phone's hot?" She's like, "Yeah, my phone is hot." And the screen changed to say like, "Oh, the phone is very hot. We'll resume once it cools down." I've seen that once on my phone too. I was in a very hot situation, so it was just like 120 degrees around me. I was like, "Oh, that's why my phone's not working." But this was in our living room with central air, set to like 69 degrees. It was the fan blowing. There's no reason for it to be hot, and it just kept getting hotter. It was not cooling down. So we turned it off, and it cooled down, but it wouldn't turn back on at all. And my theory is the battery just kind of died. And if we didn't turn it off, it probably would have exploded. And it was first off a scary thought, because what if that happened in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
But we went to Micro Center, and they're like, "Oh, we can't do anything because we can't turn the computer or the phone on." We go to Apple. We went to Apple, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to send this in. It's going to be at least a week, and most likely they're going to take it apart and just give you a brand new phone, and it costs $600." She had our phones from 2024, $600 because of this. It was either buy a brand new phone or get it repaired for $600, and that was cheaper than buying a brand new phone. So I was like, "Oh my God, that's insane!" Like this, and she had iCloud, and thankfully to get in order to even send the phone in, because there's a whole what if it's stolen? You have to turn Find My off, and if you don't have another device connected, you're out of luck. You're just literally out of luck. You buy a new phone at that point, it's gone. And I realized at that point, I don't have another device. So if that happened to my phone, I would lose everything. I would lose all my pictures. I would lose all my voicemails. I have voicemails from my mother on there, who's now passed. I have a voicemail from my father, who will never leave me another voicemail again. I'm like, I don't want to lose that. That is infinitely valuable to me. And I was like, I panic mode. I was like, "Oh my God, it happened to you, and we got our phones the same day." Like, that could definitely happen to me. It's never happened. I never thought about it. So I needed a new Fitbit anyway. So now I've got an iWatch, an Apple Watch. I I got one of them on sale, and I also got an iPad for the first time, simply so I have devices. So
Nice.
it was funny. It was my wife's like, my phone blows up and you get $1,000 worth of toys. I'm like, yeah, funny how that works. I said, but she
That's
had
great.
another phone. She had an iPad. That's how she restored herself, because she
Yeah.
had an iPad. That's how she
Mm.
used. And I never used it, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to use it to look up game guides and whatnot. But it was cheaper for me to buy the newest iPad, not the Pro, just the regular,
Yeah, just a regular
before
one.
the price went up, because
Oh yeah.
Amazon like didn't have it. Like it was like $750 now, and Amazon still had it for $600. I'm like, let me get it now. And
Yep.
the the Apple Watch I got for like $250. It was on sale for like the
Mm.
Amazon day. So I'm like, I was gonna get a new Fitbit anyways, and this does both things, so I might
Yep.
as well.
Yep.
So now I've got double for that reason, and who knows?
Nice.
And my wife's making fun of me. Like, now you're gonna play games on 3 screens at the same time: your phone, and iPad, and the TV. And
Yep.
I'm like, don't you tempt me with a good time, okay?
You
Yeah.
can also use it for your
So moral of this,
podcast show note or outline. I also have it right on my iPad in front of me as well.
yeah, there you go. So the moral of the story is, if you have any Apple device, if you have an iPhone and you don't have a secondary device, maybe consider one, because it could happen to you. I mean, the whole thing with the Samsung phones blowing up, I thought it could happen to any phone. So just think about that, how much of your life is on the phone, and if you don't have that type of backup to like an iCloud, it's funny, and they're like, oh my god, our lives are that dependent, but it's true.
Yeah.
There's like pictures of videos of my son that I would lose and stuff. Like, I don't want to lose that stuff.
Yeah.
It's precious. So
Yeah.
back yourself up,
Greg.
have yourself, because you need
Yep.
defense.
Greg, he's coming to our side on the Apple side. Next thing
I
he's
know. I
gonna
was like,
Mac as
one of
well.
us,
No,
one of us.
no, I'll always be a PC. Like I said, the main goal is to turn off Find My, and to have access to, so everything's backed up and I can pull things from the
Yeah.
cloud.
Yeah.
But I will use it for looking things up like I do on my phone anyway with Safari.
Yep. Yep.
That's
Well,
what
thankfully
happened.
And
there's also
It makes it easier.
iCloud.com as well. So,
well,
which
yeah,
is
I'll
nice.
also be running. Well, iCloud won't get you. That'll help you back up, but to log in to turn off Find My is a big thing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'll run like Dragon Quest, and I'll be like, oh, I can run this on the iPad now and not drain my phone battery and have more battery
Mm-hmm.
for other things.
Yep.
Like, that's cool, and I could, play. I was doing it earlier. I'm like, oh, run auto while I'm doing Mario Kart Tour, at the
There you
same
go.
time. Why was just looking at me, shaking her head. I'm like,
Yep. Yep. Greg, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, probably like some more like a personal and I guess more serious note. Like today, I had like a first day of like a inpatient like program thing. Like just being unemployed has had a major toll on my mental health. So I was just going to like a facility to get some better treatment in that regard. So I just started that journey today, and it'll be pretty much ongoing for the rest of July here. That it just hasn't technically started yet. So it's just something I'm taking just to get better, but. Yeah, I'm still trying to enjoy the gaming on Twitch too in the meantime, and everything's been pretty great in that regard. I've just found some good games to get distracted with to help me cope with all that stuff too, as I need to be more like get the skills so I can pursue the training opportunities to be able to probably shift to career choices and stuff. So, but yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're able to get help. And anybody out there hire Greg. Greg needs a job.
Yep.
In the chat, Millennium Falcon said same thing happened to him recently with his Samsung Z Fold. That's too bad. And then Hiawatha says Galaxy Watch Ultra disconnected a call and had to wait to cool down. This happened a few times to him. It's only happened to me, what you were describing too, when I'm in the car and it's like plugged into that it gets hot on its own and like will stop charging or sometimes shuts down. It's always fun when I'm like in a business call while I'm driving on the highway and it like overheats and shuts down. I'm like, what can I do now? I'm driving at 70 miles an hour. My phone just shut down and I got to unplug it and put it in front of the air conditioning and cool it down. So that's fun.
Yeah. That's been the only time that my phone is actually powered down from like heat is just like the amount I have in my car. It was like I guess it was just getting too much of the sun, and I usually get the black iPhone, so that
Mm.
obviously doesn't help either. Um, but that did remind me of the one time when my phone did actually shut down from being too cold, and that was, like, when the Nintendo Labo announcements were going off. I was, like, downtown Chicago, it was, like, minus, like, 10 degrees outside, and I was trying to hold my phone watching the Labo announcements, and, like, it shut down, like, midway through, and I was like, "No, my cardboard creations are ruined forever." Mm.
That's great. Oh. Well, it brings us to the end of episode 342. Again, we're going to be back. Barry and Greg are going to be back on July 14th for next episode, streaming at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We hope to see you guys there in the live chat, but if not, feel free to jump over to our social media, watch us after the fact, follow us, and hop in our Discord. And now jump on our brand new Patreon at patreon.com/CW/NintendoFuse. Again, we'll put all those links in the show notes and the YouTube description as well. But until then, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.